chance to sit down and meet your staff and watch the film and think about everything the last couple of days, anything that you've come around to? Okay, I saw this, I like this. Saw this, didn't like that. Anything that stood out since the Miami game?
Yeah, not a lot to like in the Miami game. We got to talk more. I mean, that's one thing that really stood out. There's got to be verbal and nonverbal communication, particularly on the road, but just in general, we got to be better with that.
What is it seems obvious, right? Like, guys have to talk more. What are ways to facilitate that? For if you look on the court and guys aren't doing it, what are ways?
Take my game.
That's kind of the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're professional athletes. We're a professional basketball team. We got to do what's required of the job.
Kind of on that, do you find that the lack of communication is stemming from a lack of, I guess, maybe awareness about what's being asked, or just simply not doing the communication?
Yeah, I think clarity was brought up with the players. We obviously want to create clarity for them. We certainly have tried our best to be clear on coverages and changing coverages and game adjustments. So we will self-sort of audit and figure out how we can do that better.
JJ, after the loss, you took ownership and accountability. LeBron took ownership and said that it's not on the coaches, it's on the players. AD echoed a similar sentiment. In terms of just the dialogue and conversations you've had over the last couple of days with the team, have you kind of sensed everyone sort of taking accountability for their own mistakes over this stretch? And have you seen progress, I guess, in terms of mindset?
Well, we'll see tonight. We'll see tonight.
How much you missing Austin Reeves? Has that been something that's had a trickle-down effect and kind of obviously he's not going to talk for the other four guys on the court, et cetera, but maybe the way that you've had to run your offense in the half court, where the ball's being distributed, just how much is that something that's affected you on this road trip?
I think with Austin, the movement piece and the sort of thrust, his ability to get in the paint, his ability to, for the most part, make quick decisions. In some ways, he's a connector for our offense, but he's also a scorer and a playmaker. So you can have connectors that aren't necessarily players that can do what Austin does in terms of creating offense. And he does both. And also, he's highly competitive, and he brings that juice every night.
And still day to day for him.
Yeah, day to day. Yeah, he's not with us. He went back to LA. We kind of got the sense in Minnesota, kind of going towards Miami, that Miami wasn't likely, and neither was tonight. And really just wanted him back in LA getting treatment, not flying, not going bed to bed, just kind of focusing on his body.
As an opposing coach, when you look at this Hawks team, what kind of worries you the most about them?
I'll start with Dyson Daniels, just because we're in a funk offensively, and he's so disruptive. We have to have awareness with him, both on and off the ball. I think last year I kind of talked about Herb Jones and how there's certain defenders in the NBA that kind of have their own defense, and as a coach, you give them the freedom to do that. Herb Jones is one of those guys. Drew Holiday is one of those guys, and for this Hawks team, Dyson has become that. He's kind of everywhere, and we got to have good awareness with him. They're really good in transition. They're really good at creating turnovers and running. So we have to be solid with the ball, and we have to know where he's at. And then just overall, they're gonna move a lot on offense. They're gonna get to multiple actions. So whatever coverage we're in, we have to be able to sort of get from one action to another and not allow it to break down our defense.
Coach, by LeBron's standards, he's struggling a little bit from three right now. As a former shooter yourself, have you noticed anything about his mechanics or his rhythm that's off that needs to be tweaked at all, or is this just a slump maybe from him from 3-point range?
I think you can have slumps. You never want to have slumps as a player, but sometimes, I think next week will be good for him. It'll be good for our team. Just to have some gym time, some court time, some individual work time. Just, with the schedule, haven't had a ton of that. And we've got an opportunity, post Sunday for 2 games in 10 days and can kind of sharpen up a little bit.
JJ, just on LeBron, is that going to be game time? Do you know if he's going to be available yet to see if he's popped in the injury report?
Yeah, I believe he aggravated something in Miami. He's been getting treatment around the clock, and he's going to do his warm-ups and give it a go.
And then, so LeBron's side, I think there's 6 guys out. As he talked about earlier in this combo, yeah, you may have to just take some guys off the floor, but you're sort of already down to 2 ways as your backup bigs. Is that equation a little more difficult when the 10 guys that you have are almost all going to need to play?
It is, for sure. It definitely is. If that means we have to play Armel, because I know he's going to play hard. He doesn't, always know what's going on out there, but he's going to give maximum effort at all times. I'll play him.
Early in the season, you guys played with kind of RML level force against Minnesota. This happened, and then it sort of disappeared. How much have you challenged them on that specific throughout the course of the year? How disappointing is it that maybe that hasn't been a consistent part, considering also how you played too?
Well, I would say the consistency is probably the frustrating part. It's not just that. It's the consistency, because the group has shown that they can do it. The guys have shown that they can do it. It's just the consistency for everything. In terms of the physicality, like we know going into certain games, teams are going to be more disruptive. They're going to be more physical. They're going to, reroute us off screens. They're going to be into the basketball. We know teams that don't do that. And so, going into the game, you've got to have that mindset to be the more physical team. And some teams, with our group, you got to just match their physicality. And tonight's one of those games.
You said that team's going to try to blow your plays up. I believe that's a paraphrased version of what you said. But do you want to see your team foul more on the perimeter? At least, to be, obviously no coach wants his team to foul, but to be in those positions to try to take that stuff away?
Sure. Yeah, I offered them the olive branch they're allowed to get 3 off-ball fouls in the second half against Miami. We didn't reach that quota. So yeah, I would like to see that.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.